Hello and welcome to another episode of Book Journey Mentor Uncut. Welcome. If you're watching for the first time, my name is Daniela Bleckner. I am an author, book journey mentor, founder of a company called Conscious Dreams Publishing. We work with authors from all over the world to help them to get their powerful messages and stories out there in the form of professional books. What is this show all about, and what have you tuned into? This show is called Book Journey Mentor Uncut. We interview up and coming, new, established authors so that you can gain an insight into not just the book, but actually the journey and inspiration behind the book. It's so easy to see the final product and not actually fully understand the blood, sweat, and tears and the journey behind it. All the different aspects of publishing. It's also a platform for you to speak with, thank you. It's also a platform for you to speak with experts in their field, whether it's other publishers, whether it's book marketers, editors, typesetters, cover designers, people who work in distribution, people who work in PR, for you to really understand that publishing a book is not just about the final product, it's the whole vision and all the different aspects that are important. So hello to Elaine who's come on, and hello to Katrina. Today is a really special interview. We have an interview today with Sophia Mayers, who published a beautiful book called Curly Kyla. I normally at this point hold it up, but I don't have it because it's such a popular book. One of my friends has taken it from my bookshelf and given it to her child. Curly Kyla is an absolutely beautiful book for somebody who grew up in the 80s. Yes, I'm talking about myself. Yes, I am that age. Thank you very much. Hey, Ali. I had a massive afro. Most of my friends either had relaxed hair or their hair was in beautiful braids. And so I felt like I stood out. I was a bit of a misfit. And my hair is very, very, very thick, okay? Very thick. And this book would have been absolutely amazing for me in terms of, that positive self-identity. And I think this book is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to stop talking about it because I'm going to introduce, it's been a long day, the awesome and amazing Sophia Mayers, who is the founder of Afro Impressions Salon, which is open, of course, and the author of Curly Kyla. So please give her some hearts, show her some love as she comes into the broadcast.
Fantastic.
How are you doing, Sophia?
I'm well, thank you, Danny. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Tell us a little bit about you. So have you always wanted to write, or is this something that's...
No. Maybe as a child I was quite creative in terms of poetry. But no, for Curly Kyla, I just think through my profession and what I do, being a stylist and a salon owner, I think that's what kind of gave me the idea, should I say.
Well, tell us about your journey into, because you're obviously the founder of Afro Impressions. So tell us your journey to getting into that field. Is that something you've always been interested in?
Yeah, I've always from probably started plaiting and braiding hair from the age of maybe 4 years old. I remember having do you remember that My Little Pony?
Yeah.
And it had like a mane of hair, and that's all I had. And
yeah.
I was braiding, and it turned into like cornrows and French plaits and all this stuff. I always had my hands in hair. And I'm grateful that my mum always believed in my vision, no matter what it is I wanted to do, but I'm always doing hair. So when I grew up in London, and I started my first Saturday job at the age of 14. And actually from there, just kind of went to various different salons. When I moved out to the suburbs, as they call it, I realized that there was a demand or a lack of salons for mixed and Afro hair. And actually back then, which is probably like 2002, there wasn't as many people in the area as there is now. But I kind of felt like if I started up like a little mobile business on the side, I could kind of do a few clients. I had some business cards, and literally within 2 weeks, I was inundated, like literally back to back with clients. Wow. And I used to take my little girl with me, who's 19 now, but she would have been about 5 at the time. and she used to come with me to all these clients' houses, and the demand grew so much that I opened a salon, my first salon, when I was 27. So I kind of built it all from scratch, to be honest with you, single-handedly. And a large proportion of my customers are young girls. Young girls, especially being out here as well, where there's more sort of multiracial relationships, a lot of girls with curly hair, mixed heritage. So that's a large bulk of what we specialize in. And seeing them a lot of the time not like their curls, their tresses, their tangles, their, abundant hair, just used to break my heart a lot. And I just felt that it'd be nice if they could have something to help inspire them and grow confidence in themselves and their hair.
Perfect, thank you. So starting off very young with I remember the My Little Ponies and the tails, and I just did one little plant. I can imagine you doing this like complex, interesting designs. And that's what I was going to go on to, in a self-esteem with young children, especially as well, with really curly, thick Afro hair. And I love the sense that actually this comes from witnessing firsthand how some of these girls felt. So would they tell you specifically that they don't like their hair, or was it more? What kind of stories can you tell us?
Yes, sometimes they were very vocal to say, I don't like my hair. Or sometimes one little girl, she's like, oh, Sophia, you've done my hair so nice. She said, but I don't like it when it's curly. I don't like my skin.
Oh.
I just want it to be straight, and I want to be like mummy, who had lighter, fair. So I've had it all. I've had them screaming on the chairs because it's come at like dreadlocks, matted when they've turned up.
Oh, Lord.
I've had, parents. I was on the radio earlier and I was saying to the presenter that parents that come in and say, oh, if only, her hair was just normal. And I'm like, did you just say that? Normal?
What does normal mean?
I've had it all. I've had it all.
And sort of going into the sense that when you say I wish her hair was normal, so as you said, I remember the Girls World dolls heads. Thank you so much. If you are watching this and if you find this of worth and value, please do invite the followers and share this out. People need to hear this message wide, far and wide. This is an amazing book. Sophia sold 339 books within 5 days, I think it was, of us putting the book on pre-order, and the book wasn't even out yet. This is how popular it is. There are testimonials on, your page of young girls with curly hair saying what this meant to them, and this is very real. Hey, Nina, I was thinking about you today. Nice to see you. Let's catch up. And so when I put this out, there were some people who were saying, well, is this really an issue? With curly hair, I've always wondered. These are like, Caucasian women with blonde hair saying, oh, you've gone. Are you back? Okay. Caucasian women with blonde hair saying, I've always wanted to have curly hair. Is this something almost as if it was disbelief that some of these girls were, suffering from low self-esteem because of this? But I wanted to touch on what you said when the parents would come in and say, I wish you had normal hair. So are we talking about maybe mothers who had lighter hair, or are we talking about sort of mixed race relationships where maybe culturally they didn't understand how to look after the hair, or have you seen it all?
Yeah, I have, and I'm this type of person that in life I feel like a lot of the times we can make complaints about things when they're not going correctly. But I'm somebody who likes to find solutions. So I'm not about, dwelling on the problem. And so because I could see that there was a need to educate, I started to do workshops for parents to come in and show them how to manage their child's hair. And actually that they could be, British, they could be African. You'd be surprised how many women I do hair and I think I take it for granted. And there's some people that are like, I literally just would not know what to do. And I'm like, but you come from a culture where you should know how. And they're like, I can't do it. That's why I come to you. So, the workshops were amazing, and they helped to educate and teach a lot of parents. And then we sort of branched out and set up a complete whole academy, which is another business in itself. But for me, when I saw that there was a lack of information and direction for parents and people, full stop, I just thought, you know what's the best solution here? Just, give my time and help, really.
Solution orientated, I love it. So not just a hair salon, but actually you have an academy where you train and show people how they can actually, plait their child's hair or do their child's hair. What for you has been the most complex hairstyle?
Okay, so like I said, to reiterate, I like to be a solution-based type of person. So as much as a lot of my history was working in Afro hair types, as far as I'm concerned, hair is hair. So I then went and worked in a Caucasian hair salon before I had my salons to learn more. And actually, I found that was probably the most difficult to grasp, because the techniques and what you're trying to achieve are completely different. And I think that probably blew my mind. In the Afro hair sector, I couldn't really think of anything off the top of my head. I feel pretty confident in services in Afro hair. But when I went over to Caucasian hair, that took me a while to get my head around it.
Or more unique, I think, then is the word that I'm using. The most unique, like out there hairstyle that you've done before.
Outlandish.
Guys, I'm having a consultation right now. This is what's happening. I'm talking about the hairstyle I want.
Probably something to my own. So actually, everyone can see me with these hair extensions when actually my hair is like royal blue, bright blue. But it actually looks amazing. Look on my page and see with my blue hair.
I've seen that style. I love it.
Yeah, I do. I've had someone who shaved. So a combination between shaving and colour, I think, has probably been the most sort of like wow sort of thing that I've done. But braiding and stuff like that, there's nothing I can think of that would be that outlandish.
Yeah, I love it. I'm just taking notes for my next hairstyle. So. Tell us a bit about Curly Kyla then, without telling us the whole story.
Do you know Curly Kyla? Bless her heart. If she was actually really here with me, I just wouldn't let her go, because she's brought so much joy and happiness into my life and into so many other people's lives that I didn't realize she would do. And she's a young girl who loves to dance and gets quite upset because she doesn't think her hair can be styled like her friends. And she gets quite upset. She's quite frustrated with her hair. But she soon learns through a conversation and some education that her hair is very diverse, and she can do a lot with it, a lot more than a lot of people can do with theirs. And she finds the confidence and the passion and power to love her hair, should I say.
Beautiful. Thank you. And what would you say to that child who was sitting in your salon chair and said, Sophia, I just take my hair, it's so knotty and it's so hard for me to look after. I wish my hair was like my friends, they can run a comb through it and it's just wash and go. What would you say?
Do you know, I found that having like various different businesses, it's taxing and it's difficult to manage my time. But I feel that when I'm approachable, which I am 99.9% of the time, children friendly, I look nice, I present myself well, I'm in an environment in a salon that actually people look at me as that benchmark of what they want to look like a little bit. So they kind of oh, your hair looks nice today, Sophia, or oh, that's a nice makeup you've got on. Oh, I like your nails. And the children actually do the same in a sense. So when I've got my little young counterparts come in and sit in the chair, they're looking at me as that role model to be like, so when they see how much enthusiasm and passion I have in their hair, and I talk to them about it and show them different styles, they tend to draw a lot of that confidence from me. So as much as it takes them a little bit of time and maybe it needs to be a few visits, I think me being a good role model, as well as saying to them or explaining to them how diverse their hair can be and how much different things they can do, and maybe also showing them pictures of other people in the media of influence that might actually have similar hair to them. It all sort of plays a role.
Amazing, thank you. For those who are just watching, you have tuned into Book Journey Mentor Uncut. My name is Daniela Blickmar, author, Book Journey Mentor, founder of Conscious Dreams Publishing, interviewing the awesome, amazing Sophia Mayers, author of Curly Kyla, her debut beautiful book. I'm sure there's going to be many more, and founder of Afro Impressions Hair Salon with her own academy. So if you have any questions, I've got lots of questions, but if you have any questions, please do throw them up. This is a very interactive show. Thank you to those who have come on. Hello to Nina and hello to Faye. Nice to see you. If you have any questions, throw them up. So from what you said, it sounds like, your role is not just hair. There's so much more to it. It's the talking, the listening, boosting confidence. What would you say is the most rewarding part of your job?
Of my job, okay. At the moment, these little girls, like I had like a live with Miami Ray and Amira, and my eyes, like, I'm gonna start again. These little girls and their self-belief in themselves before and after reading the book, and seeing how much something like this means to them is everything for me right now. I didn't write this book for monetary gain. I wrote it because I wanted to inspire younger people, and it's done that, and I think it's going to do so much more than I didn't really know where it was going to go. So currently, the most rewarding part of my job is when I see that I've made a difference or an impact in someone's life. It could even be one of my clients that maybe, might be going through something, or going through an illness, or going through a breakup or a bereavement. As a hairstylist, you take it all on. You get everything.
The counselor, everything.
And so being able to see how much they're growing confidence through their hair, you'd be surprised, and make a difference, that they've got this extra bounce in their step, is the best feeling.
Amazing. Big up to Miami Ray, Conscious Dreams book reviewer. She loves your book, absolutely loves it. To see her review on YouTube, so I'm very excited about that. So what's the feedback been like? And I know you had your launch last week, wasn't it, in your salon? How was that? What people
was it last week or the week before? It goes so fast.
I don't know. It felt like it was last week, but it could easily have been the week before.
So I had an event December last year, which was just a give back event. It was just for my customers, and I just gave them everything: pamper, massage, food, all sorts of stuff was going on. That was really busy. The book signing wasn't as busy as that event, but actually I'm kind of glad it wasn't, because I was able to speak to all of the young girls that came in one-to-one. And Lana, a young girl who asked my advice on how she could make her books come to life, I've passed her on to you. I think she's on one of your workshops.
Oh, Lana, yes, she's on my workshop. Oh, amazing. Yes, she's awesome. Oh, thank you. She's brilliant.
So I was talking to her and I was asking her about her book, and I didn't have to rush. I was so chilled, like I said, because it was just like one after the other, nicely, slowly
Yeah.
trickling in. And she was telling me about her books, and I remember her before me even had her. And I said, so what how are you going to get it all together? And she was like, conscious dreams. I was like, oh my god. I was like, yes.
She's already like, yeah.
Exactly. I'd given them the details and I didn't realize that they'd cracked on and got it all done.
Amazing.
But again, it's just such a warm feeling seeing these little babies just have so much belief in themselves and know that they can do it from such a young age.
Yeah. And that's the thing as well, I was having this conversation with somebody that for them, it's completely normal. It's normalized. For me, the idea of publishing a book at 8, 9 years old was way out there. But, they're seeing themselves in books like yours, for example. You're connecting them to people like myself. They're going on to storytelling workshops. They've written their book. And now Lana's, already got the mindset of it's going to be published. Miami Ray the other day was... her mother said to her, do you know who my favourite children's author is? And she gave some really famous children's author. And Miami said, well, why don't you just get her email and arrange to meet her?
Yeah, why don't you just do that, Mum? It's just that simple. It's not long.
And that's what I love. Again, linking into what you're doing, it's that sense of reward of, giving them a different perspective and a different way of life that, what you can achieve is limitless, and the importance of seeing yourself reflected in books such as yours, where they have that self-empowerment, I think is so important. So thank you.
Most definitely.
And what's in the pipeline for you? Are you planning to do, I know it's difficult to plan events at the moment, but have you got any interviews or anything coming up with your book?
So I've probably got my third invite on BBC Radio Berkshire, which is my local county radio station. However, that's because I live in Berkshire, but my salon's actually in Surrey. So I'm sure I'm going to get Surrey on my case soon as well. We've had a lot of blogs, we've had radio, we've had podcasts, and we've got Sunday.
Yes, Sunday. Tell the viewers about Sunday. What's happening on Sunday?
It's a Black Books webinar, and it has a panel, including yourself and myself, on there, talking about their journeys, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think it's a Zoom.
Yes, so it's on Zoom. I think there's about 9 of us. Really excited to be doing that with you. We're going to be talking about, it's weird, I'm going to be talking about my book. I'm so used to talking about other people's books and publishing, but I've got my book coming out very soon. Sophia's going to be on talking about Curly Kyla. So please do join. We'll put all the information in the link below. It's Sunday the 23rd, 4 till 7 p.m.
4 till 7, yeah. What else am I trying to... So I will write another book. So you'll be getting more emails from me, Danny, oh look, here she comes again.
Well, let's talk about the process for those who haven't written a book before or haven't published a book and thinking about it but don't quite know how it works. How did you find, obviously you had the illustration process first before you came to us, beautiful illustrations, by the way. Tell us about the kind of whole process from the illustrations
to be honest, I think that no matter what your industry is or what you work as now, whether you're a doctor, solicitor, barrister, everyone has different experiences and everyone has their own story. And so I think everyone has it within them to write their own story. However, it is a completely new minefield of what do I do? So Curly Kyla, I actually wrote in 2016 because I knew that I wanted to write this story, and it's just been sat there. And with everything else that I do, I just didn't have the time. So lockdown came, and lockdown was good to me and a lot of people and gave me time. But also financially, I didn't have any money. So I was like, how am I going to do, when you're in business, you appreciate other people that are in business. And I never want to be that person to oh, because you know my friend, like, can you do it for a £5? Or because I don't operate like that, and I don't.
Yeah.
So because I didn't have the money, I kind of felt like, right, I've got to go this alone. Let me see how far I can get. So the story was written. The illustrator was somebody I could afford to get the illustrations done and try to marry it together. That didn't go well. It went okay. And I'm thinking, there's more to this than just like writing the book and getting the pictures. And then I thought, right, I need to get quotes for this, quotes for that. Anyway, long story short, God blessed me with some money. And I knew that a portion of that was going to be to get this book done. And so obviously with yourself and, you know, knowing you and connections, and I came to one of your events, I thought, right, well, the first person I'm going to offer to support would be yourself. And I'm really grateful for that, because I think I would have gone around and around in circles trying to do a bit of this. And when you go to people that you don't really know, or there's no recommendation, you're kind of going in blind, like you've got no benchmark. If someone just turned and said, oh, it's going to cost you £2,000, you probably think, oh, okay, I'm just going to pay it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas when you've got people in the industry, obviously Portia as well, was able to sort of guide me in the right direction, speak to Danny and do this, etc. So long story short, it was testing, it was interesting, but I would say, you know, if you do feel you want to venture, and I've recommended you to somebody else as well, just go, a couple of people actually, just go to the people who know what they're doing in that industry. Don't try to cut corners, or especially if you don't have the time as well. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was a bit of a process, but we got there in the end.
We did it! Yay! So, what would you say to somebody who's got a really good idea for a book? They really want to get their powerful message and story out there, but they're maybe lacking in confidence, and they're thinking, will anyone like it? Is anyone going to enjoy this? What would you say to them?
I was on the podcast yesterday with Richard doing siblings talk, and somebody did ask me that yesterday. We were talking about procrastination, and somebody asked what would I recommend to someone who's unsure. It was more just business in general. And my thing is that everything in life that we do, or that we see, or that we touch, starts with an idea. Whether it's the way my purse is designed, or the way the door opens and closes, or electricity, and whatever it's all started with an idea. And actually, there's not just one person who designed a purse, there's 500 of them. And there's not just one person who designed a car. Providing you believe in what it is you've got, and you have that enthusiasm and passion and perseverance and persistency, it's gonna work. It doesn't matter whether you have to believe in it, is what I'm saying. You have to believe in it 100%, and when you do, sky's the limit. Being unsure is not really a great part of the equation. It doesn't really help you get far in life, full stop. So I would say go over your idea, go over your book, and believe in it, and you'll be fine.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sophia. It's so lovely to speak with you. How can people connect with you, and where can people get your book?
So Curly Kyla has her own website now, curlykyla.com.
We'll put that in the comments below as well. Let me see if I can do it.
curlykyla.com. You can purchase direct. You can purchase on Amazon and Waterstones online, Kindle, ebook as well, and also Afro Impressions has their own site, the salon site, which obviously you can book a hair appointment, but you can also purchase your Curly Kyla. So there's loads of different platforms.
What's your Afro Impressions website? I'll throw that up as well.
It's www.afroimpressions.co.uk. for Afro Impressions. And then I'm on Facebook, as you know, Instagram, Sophia_Mayers, but Curly Kyla has an official page on Instagram called Curly Kyla Official, and she also has Curly Kyla Official on Facebook too.
Fantastic. And any parting words, Sophia, for anyone who wants to come down to your salon, or a message in general? What the floor is yours to close.
Thank you to everybody who's purchased Curly Kyla and shared Curly Kyla. And as we're on this live, I've just seen somebody I know just sent me a message saying, "Did you actually write this?" You're like, how many weeks too late, love? Like, you think I was just promoting it?
This is what I mean. This is old news now. We're talking about book 2, 3.
Exactly. I just want to thank everyone who's supported, and just sending the message that we just keep supporting each other. I think it's really, really important.
Oh no!
With what we've gone through.
She's coming back.
Yeah, especially with what we've gone through in the last few months.
Yeah,
I think it's really important to keep our economic structure as tight as possible, whether that's because we're all women together, or we all came up in the 80s, or we're all from, you know, Caribbean, whatever the reason is, make it be a reason enough for you to support and reciprocate. You know, karma comes in good as well. So when you give out good comes back to you. And I just want to leave a really harmonious, positive energy out there for everyone to grab hold of.
Grab onto and take. So you know how to contact Sophia Mayers. I have Mayers. It's Mayers, isn't it?
Mayers, yeah.
Mayers. I put all the information on the link. Dee says, great listening to you both, very informative. You definitely have written a fantastic book. Awesome. We will go back on and put links to the book on all the different platforms that this is showing. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I'll see you next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. GMT, 2 p.m. EST, for another episode of Book Journey Mentor Uncut.
Thank you for having me, Danny.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.